You're preparing for your FCE writing exam. Don't you just wish you could get into the head of an examiner and see what they're thinking? Well, today we're going to be talking to some examiners and they're going to give you some top tips on how to ace the writing part of your exam. They're going to tell you the difference between getting a good score and a great score.
First thing, and here we go. Mistake number one. And honestly, it's the biggest one of all. Not fully answering the question. I know, it sounds so basic, right? But you'd be amazed how many people write a beautiful piece of English that completely misses one or two key points of the task.
And just look at the examiner's own words here. Critical. They are not messing around. This isn't some tiny little mistake. It's a deal breaker. If you don't answer the question they actually asked, it doesn't matter how amazing your English is. You simply can't get the top marks. It's the bedrock of the whole thing. So how do you make sure you don't fall into this trap? Well, the fix is actually pretty simple. Before you start writing, just stop, take a breath, read the question, and then read it again. Break it down. Are there 2 points? 3? Make a little mental checklist and make sure you have a plan to hit every single one of them.
Okay, next up is a mistake that's all about your audience. Or rather, about forgetting you even have one. This usually leads to writing that's way too formal, kind of robotic, and impersonal. It's like wearing a tuxedo to a barbecue. It just feels off.
And this lays it out perfectly. The problem is just not being aware of your reader. The solution? Ask yourself one simple question. Who am I writing for? Is it your best friend? Your teacher? The editor of a magazine? That one question changes everything. Your vocabulary, your tone, it all has to match.
Okay, so we've covered the prep work. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the mistakes that pop up when you're actually in the middle of writing. This is all about how—
This one is huge. So many candidates have really good ideas, but they just list them. It's like they're planting a great seed and then just walking away without watering it. They'll make a statement and then, boom, they're on to the next one, with no explanation, no support, no examples. It just leaves the writing feeling a little thing.
But look, there's a really easy way to fix this. Think of it as a simple 3-step process. 1. Make your point. 2. Expand on it. Give a little more detail. And 3. This is the magic step. Explain why it's true. Or give a solid example. That's what turns a simple idea into a fully developed, convincing one.
Next up, structure. You know, sometimes you'll read a piece that has all the right ingredients, but they're just jumbled together randomly. Ideas get lost, and it's just hard for the reader, and remember, the examiner is your reader, to follow your train of thought.
Now let's zoom in and look at the finer details of language. Avoiding these final traps is what can really elevate your writing.
Classic trap of the memorized phrase. Believe me, examiners can spot it from a mile away when a student tries to shoehorn some fancy pre-learned sentence into an essay where it just doesn't quite fit. It sounds clunky, it sounds unnatural, and frankly, it does more harm than good.
Yeah, look at the difference here. The trap is trying to memorize fixed answers. But what's the goal? Learning flexible language. You want a toolbox full of words and phrases that you can adapt to fit any task, not just one fancy wrench that you try to use for every single job.
And finally, let's talk about grammar. Now, here's the thing. No one expects you to be perfect, but what really impacts a score is making the same error over and over and over. If you consistently mess up verb tenses or articles, it signals to the examiner a lack of control over that piece of grammar.
So what's the fix? You have to be strategic. You need to become a detective of your own writing. What are your personal error patterns? Is it that pesky third-person S? Prepositions? Find them, focus on them, and make it your mission to correct them in your practice. It's so much more effective than trying to fix everything at once.
What does success actually look like from an examiner's point of view? Well, it might not be what you think it is.
And this is it. This is the absolute heart of the matter. A successful candidate isn't the one trying to impress with the biggest words or the most complex sentences. Nope. It's the one who communicates their message clearly, appropriately for the task, and effectively. It's about communication, not complication.
This final quote from the examiner just sums it all up perfectly. Understand the task, organize your ideas, and show you have control over your language. If you can nail those 3 things, you are putting yourself in a very, very strong position. It's all about solid fundamentals, not flashy tricks. So there you have it, a look inside the examiner's mind. And that leaves us with one final question for you. After hearing all this, what is the one